Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Miss Sensational Gaming channel. In today's video, I'm going to be playing the Virtual Murder second game. It is called The Magic Death. And there's a difference between the first game and this game. In the first game, there are scenarios. So you get to select either 1, 2, or 3, depending on who the murderer is. I'm going to choose 1 because the one that I recognize the most. And we're going to get started in the investigation. We're not going to waste time by watching the report, but I just want to get this game done. And I'm going to click this so that the lady will tell us about this.
If we weren't sure about the connection to the victim's fieldwork before, this confirms it. I think we need to talk to an expert for more information.
Let's go with the dress.
Since there are no prints on the mud covering her torso, my guess is that it was applied with gloves. I'd like to know if animal sacrifice plays a part in voodoo ritual.
Also, another thing is that you spend too much time by clicking on this so that the lady will talk about the evidence here.
This is not a garment you'd wear in Chicago weather. It looks like something she wore in Haiti.
Sometimes when the auto thing is highlighted, that means you get to hear what she has to say about the evidence, while the other one doesn't. While the others doesn't, is what I'm trying to say.
If the victim's own prints show up in the mud, she must have put it on. Was it a part of some ceremony? And if it was her death an intentional part of it?
And I also played this game last year on 2025 because I wanted to try it out to see if I could be able to play it without any fails or anything whatsoever. And I only know the first scenario. The second and third one, I have no idea.
Why would you use mud from somewhere else? Does this mud have a special significance? This is a compelling detail.
Excuse me.
The wine was probably consumed shortly before her death. This is interesting because red wine represents the blood of Christ in the Catholic Mass, and the victim is arranged as if she were nailed to a cross.
Interesting. We're gonna go to this table.
Just a reminder from the chief, you've got 5 big ones left.
This appears to represent some connection to the victim's fieldwork.
So nothing too important. I'm checking to see what kind of frog it is. Okay.
I called 30 pet shops in and around Chicago. 2 report carrying this species of frog. One of the stores sold one on Saturday to an elderly woman.
I'll make sure to remember this type.
candle may have originally belonged to the victim, but if some sort of ceremony was performed, Elsbeth Hasgard may have been involved, at least at the beginning. I'm thinking of what Jody Howland downstairs said about hearing something shatter. Could it have been this mirror?
I don't know. Let's go to the apartment and check everything else.
The murderer may have cut themselves and tried to wash it off here, but it could also be from the broken glass and the trash in the kitchen. Perhaps this broken wine glass accounts for the sound Jody Howland heard last night. The question is, who broke it?
That I do not know.
I pay attention to the fact, detective, that a very narrow man's foot could be the equivalent of a wider woman's foot. I would check shoe widths in non-testimonial evidence on all the suspects.
Sounds like a good idea. Let's check out other sources.
My guess is that someone was wearing gloves to hide their prints. This would also explain the lack of prints on the body.
Let's check out the daily calendar for a bit.
Detective, there are 4 hours left. Have you looked at the apartment yet?
Actually, I have. Sorry.
M could mean Mark LeMay or Miriam Tate.
Let's go through the diary. I'm gonna go with this one.
It's interesting that Elsbeth would tell Paul Budnick about the zombification and the tape, and make such a fuss about whether or not she should tell anybody else.
Why is she so paranoid? Oh my goodness.
Laku is the Haitian word for village. It's the most important social and political unit in Haitian culture.
And we gotta check this out.
This is the most recent in a series of reports from Glicken, Ross, and Briggs. They're a very Tony investment group downtown. The reports all resemble each other in two important ways. Every month there is a deposit for $20,000. And, according to the victim's engagement calendar, almost all of the deposits take place within a day or two of Elsbeth Hasgard having dinner with Carl Schulman.
Okay. Now, before we get to the non-testimonies, we need to focus on the 12 likely suspects. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so now it's time to talk to only 3 people in this Let's Play. So let's do it.
Your name and occupation.
Lieutenant Harry Delgado. I've been working on a theft that took place 2 days ago at the victim's apartment.
Can you describe the case?
First seemed fairly standard. Precinct got a call 10:39 Sunday night. I responded and went to the victim's apartment at 422 L. Britton. Nice building, 4 apartments total, 2 to a floor. The victim lived upstairs. Somebody jimmied a window in the kitchen. None of the neighbors heard or saw anything. Happened between 6 and 10:30 while the victim was at the library.
What was stolen?
That's the odd thing. Her computer, her stereo were there, her jewelry, but she couldn't have cared less. Her desk had been ransacked. Papers were all over the place. When I got there, she was frantically searching through the piles looking for something. I'd describe her as hysterical. Said she was missing a very important tape. Said she was an anthropologist and studied voodoo. And no joke, I thought to myself. By then, I'd already seen the shrunken head in the bookshelf. I asked her if she might know somebody who would want the tape and what it was for. She said, and I quote, "It's my proof." And as she spoke, it was as though something suddenly dawned on her. She turned white as a sheet and asked me to leave.
Any promising leads?
Nothing. The place was clean of prints, no footprints outside. I was about ready to call and ask if she'd found the tape, when Frankie tells me my B&E just turned into a homicide.
Thanks, Harry. We'll call if there's anything else.
Yeah, good luck to the two of you.
Detective, you're halfway there. 3 hours down, 3 hours to go.
Okay, so Harry is our first suspect we talked to. Let's talk to the second one.
Your name and occupation.
Jody Howland. I'm an actress. I also teach drama at the university. I live in the apartment directly underneath Elsbeth Haskard's at 422 Albritton Avenue.
Did you know Miss Haskard?
Some, mostly through what she did to Agnes.
You mean the Agnes Murray who lives upstairs?
Yes, Agnes is rent stabilized. She probably only pays a few hundred a month for her place. The market value is more like 800. As soon as Elsbeth bought the building, she tried to get Agnes evicted through some weird loophole in the rent board regulations.
You knew that Elspeth Haskard owned the building?
Not at first. I found out when Agnes's problems began. She told me. It was a lousy thing for Elsbeth to do. Agnes must be nearly 80. Having this apartment in a good neighborhood means a lot to her. Although now, after that burglary Sunday and this, I guess it's not that great anymore.
When was the last time you saw the victim?
I haven't seen Elsbeth in at least a week. We never visited. But I did hear something.
Hear something?
Last night. I heard her talking with some man. They weren't fighting, but their tones were urgent, if you know what I mean. Then I distinctly heard a man crying. It also sounded like some glass shattered.
What time was this?
Sometime between 8:15 when I came home to change and 9 when I left for the movies. I spent the night at my boyfriend's house.
Do you have any knowledge of voodoo, Miss Howland?
No.
Thank you for your time. We'll be in touch if there's anything else.
Alright, let's talk to our last suspect, which is Carl.
Your name and occupation.
Carl Schulman. I'm a doctoral student of anthropology in Elspeth's class. We were friends.
Were you close?
We had our moments. Let's just say we knew the unvarnished truth of one another.
How long had you known each other?
About 3 years. We first met on field study in West Africa.
When was the last time you saw Elspeth Haskard alive?
Yesterday afternoon at a meeting for thesis students. But we didn't really speak. The last time I saw Elspeth was on the 23rd. We had dinner. We did that once a month.
Did you notice anything odd or unusual about Miss Haskard's behavior?
Not particularly. A bit stressed, perhaps, but nothing to get me worried.
Do you know anyone who might want Elspeth Haskard dead?
Certainly. There are loads of people. More before anyone, though.
Mark LeMay, her boyfriend.
That's right. Mark's the super possessive type. Elspeth was sleeping around. It drove him crazy. Dick Neiman, I understand, but that younger fellow barely drives with a license.
Elspeth was having an affair with Richard Neiman, the head of anthropology?
And her thesis advisor, I might add. He's been madly in love with her since she first appeared on campus about 4 years ago.
And you say she was seeing someone else besides?
All I know is that his name is Paul. He's a student in her senior seminar. He's handsome, but dumb as a post. She must have been in that one just for the sex.
Do you know how long these affairs have been going on?
Since the fall, after her return from Haiti. Dick Neiman a bit before, perhaps. He's on the selection committee for the Nobel Fellowship, and I believe Elspeth was hoping to advance herself through non-academic means. She needn't have, though. Elspeth was really a great anthropologist.
Can you describe your movements last night?
Certainly. I was at the library until 9:30. Just before I left, I checked out a book. I stopped at the filling station on Fullerton Avenue on my way home, and when I arrived home, I watched the news. I went to bed afterwards. It was about 11 o'clock. It wasn't a very eventful evening.
Mr. Shulman, do you have any knowledge of Vudun?
Certainly not. Personally, this stuff bores me to tears.
Thank you for your time. We'll be in touch if we have more questions.
I'm sure you will.
Alrighty then. So those are the suspects. Now you're probably wondering what's next. Well, I just remembered. We need to do a non-testimony evidence. And we're going to focus on these two.
Agnes Murray's fingerprints are in a number of unusual places in the apartment.
So, that could be her in this first scenario. But let's check out this person.
I know it's tempting to pin the murder on Damon because of the possible ID with the corrupted print on Elsbeth's face, but it won't hold up in court.
So that means he's not the killer in this scenario. Which is not an issue. Alright, so the first thing that we need to do is to start a press conference.
Were there any fingerprints?
How old was the victim?
What was the last person's fingerprints?
Detective, it's your chief speaking. Only 2 hours left. The university president just called, suggesting we solve this case right away. He's related to Senator Trombley. So do me a favor and wrap this thing up, would you?
Was the victim recently burglarized? What was stolen?
I think it was this one.
Did the victim have investments in the Pacific Growth Fund?
Yes,
What time did he report leaving his sister?
this time.
How many gods are there in the voodoo religion?
What were the other elements present in the poison administered to the victim?
This one.
Who inherits Miss Asgard's estate?
Her brother Damon.
Who are her investment advisors?
Ross and Briggs.
What aspects of the murder were typical of a zombie ceremony?
This one?
Who was the last person reported to see Elsbeth Asgard alive?
I'm gonna say Paul.
What time is the body
No,
discovered?
I forgot. I know that the time is at around 10 a.m.
Great job with the press, detective. You really let them know who's boss.
Yeah.
Now you can conduct in-depth interviews with up to 3 suspects, or go straight to making your warrant application. Whatever happens, good luck.
And if you hear me chewing, I'm chewing gum for a different reason. No reason, just like to chew it. Anyways, we have to carefully choose. So I'm gonna choose these two. No, I'm gonna choose these 3 right here. We're going to talk to this guy.
She kicked me out because she was meeting some movie guy from Hollywood who wanted to use her as a consultant on a zombie movie. I don't know his name.
Okay, so this is her brother.
Politics, sports, that kind of thing.
And the questions doesn't take too much time. We just answer it as much as possible.
A little. I owed Elspeth some money and she was pressing me to pay it back, but I couldn't find a job. Yes, we fought about it.
Okay, so let's see.
I don't know. That's the kind of thing Elspeth would never tell me. Not really. I thought he was kind of a twit. She lived downstairs from my sister. Elspeth didn't like her. I think she's pretty smart, according to Elspeth. She did her work in Haiti too, but it wasn't so much in voodoo. She did her work in political structures of modern Haitian society, I think.
Okay. Let me see here.
No, I could never figure it out. It all started about 3 years ago. All of a sudden, she paid off her student loans, moved into a new apartment, and bought a good car. I asked her about it. She said she'd made a couple of sales of antique African art that she picked up on a trip. They were worth 50 times what she paid, she said. But she didn't go into details, as usual. I needed to borrow some money from my rent. Just $300. She could be so stingy. She was looking for a new car. 5,000. All I needed was 3 lousy hundred.
Oh boy. That's unfortunate. Okay, so let's talk to Paul. And let's ask him about this person here.
Yeah, a little. Just that she gave her the evil eye and it gave Elspeth the creeps. She thought that she'd sent her an unsigned postcard a couple of weeks ago when she won the Noble Fellowship.
Let's see.
No, I guess she just had a trust fund or something. Yeah, she had mentioned it.
Okay.
Not a lot, but she did play that tape for me, the one she recorded. I heard it last Saturday night. I didn't understand much of it, but she said it involved some sort of poison that lowered someone's metabolism to the point where they'd appear dead. They'd dig the person up a few days later and give them an antidote, but she said they were never the same.
Alright, so I think I know who did it. So let's issue a warrant. Okay, so I have come to the conclusion that the first scenario of who murdered Elizabeth is definitely Agnes, even though we haven't talked to her. But I have a feeling that she is kind of lonely, which is her alibi, and her motive is out of fear. Sometimes it's either hatred or something along these lines. And we all know that the weapon that is used is some sort of poisoning thing. And it happened at this time. So let's see if I'm right.
Considering the facts, I think your motive for this suspect is a bit of a long shot, but I'll grant you a warrant.
Yep, I was correct.
It started when she had all her locks changed. The men doing it just asked me to hold them for her till she could pick them up. At first it was just a hard having the keys copied. She made me feel so angry and so helpless trying to evict me from my apartment. It was a way of having power over her. I didn't plan to use them. Then one day in the hallway, she was so rude to me.
Uh-oh.
I thought, what the heck? So while she was out, I unlocked the door and went inside. First few times I just sat there and quiet, alone. Then I started to pick things up, and I read her diary and her research work. I loved the feeling that I knew all about her and she didn't know anything about me. I became quite systematic. I even used dishwasher gloves so there'd be no fingerprints. I found the notes about the zombie poison by accident one day. My lawyer had stopped working for me because I couldn't pay him. I had an important hearing coming up the next day, so I just decided to kill her. I even learned how to make it authentic, like a real zombie ceremony.
Mm.
It seemed like it would solve all my problems. It did, until today.
Outstanding work, Detective. I probably couldn't have solved this case as fast myself. I think I'll put you in for a promotion.
You have successfully arrested Agnes Murray. She is murdered number one. She is murder number one of 3 possible murderers. To play the game again with a different murderer, start over from the beginning, excuse me, and click on the inspector icon to change the murderer from either 2 or 3. So that's what this icon is, the inspector icon. And that is it for today's Let's Play, ladies and gentlemen. I will probably do scenario 2 and 3 once I figure things out. But until I figure out what it is, I'm going to have to end this video right here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.